Good morning, everyone. The long awaited program is finally here, the Big Force. Trust me, you're going to be gaining a lot from today's program. So please get your jotter, your pen, your bottled water, and of course, your internet connection.
We are done, are we? This thing never reflects your side. We're changing it up now.
So please make sure you stay to the end because we have a whole lot of things to offer you at the end. So right now, we're going to be inviting our first speaker. But before we invite our first speaker, we're going to be having our opening prayer to be taken by Miss Delight.
But we already changed it already. Okay.
Shall we pray?
I can't
Heavenly Father, we
understand.
thank you, we appreciate you. Thank you, Lord, for your goodness, for preserving our life till this moment. Thank you, Lord, for giving us the opportunity to gather here again. Thank you, Lord, because this program is going to be a successful one. This program is in your hands, oh Lord. We want you to take control. The speakers, the moderators, and everyone, the committee is, oh Lord, in your hands. We want you to take control. Thank you, Lord, for answering our prayers. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Now we are going to be going to the introduction of the event. We want to tell you what the program is all about. You muted it. No. So now we want to have a brief introduction. We'll be having a brief introduction of the event now. What you expect, what you're to expect, what you'll be or getting at the end of this program, which will be taken by my co-moderator, Miss Ibukun.
Okay, good morning once again, everyone. I welcome us all into one of the biggest event that has happened in Enactus and in Taswed at large. And I want us to expect a lot of things because trust me, this event is going to be really, really educative. It's going to be it's going to be fun because we have some games that we'll be doing as well, and we have a lot of things to gain actually because at the end of the event we have some prizes that will be won by people, and I want us all to please be active. We should make sure that we jot a lot of things because what will be said here you might not hear it in another event or at another program, and we are going to be breaking down the differences between education and differences between the entrepreneurship. And I'm sure that our speakers are fully ready for us. So please, I'm sure those of you that at home, let's make sure that we are active and we jot down all the important points our speakers will be saying. Thank you.
So thank you very much for that, Miss IBK. Now it's time. It's time for the big event we've been waiting for. I'll be introducing our first speaker now, which is Mr. Victor Akinfala. Now, I know you might be wondering who is Mr. Victor Akinfala, what does he do? That name might sound like, okay, I need to know who he is. So I'll be reading his bio now. Mr. Victor Akinfala is a capacity development champion with over 10 years of multi-industry experience. Wow, that's big. He believes that no country can develop beyond the quality of its human resources. Now, Victor is a capacity development expert with European Union Global Diaspora Facility, that's EUDIF. Yeah. A faculty with Global Enterprise Experience GEE program in New Zealand. A Youth African, Enactus Nigeria, Action with Africa program in Germany, Global Diaspora Confederation, and a mentor to several young people globally. You can see that the person we are talking about is not a small man. So his work in the development space earned him Global Enactus Alumni of the Year 2021 and a nomination for MB 100 in 2022 among several awards. He is the founder and the pioneer team leader of Enactus Starship, So this Enactus statute we'll be talking about, the person we are introducing now is a pioneer. So this Enactus statute we'll be talking about, the person we are introducing now is a pioneer. So this Enactus statute we'll be talking about, the person we are introducing now is a pioneer. So this Enactus statute we'll be talking about, he founded the International Partnership for Human Capital Development, that's IPHCD in acronym, to provide support development ecosystem for Africans and global citizens. Victor is a lifelong learner. Now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital Development, Akinfala is someone that you should not miss, to provide support development ecosystem for Africans and global citizens. Now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital Development, someone that you should not miss, to provide support development ecosystem for Africans and global citizens. Now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital Development, to provide support development ecosystem for Africans and now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans now, this is just, let me say, this is just 20% out of the bill. We have to International Partnership for Human Capital to provide support development ecosystem for Africans
the life of members and targeted audience. So, basically, I just want to share with us some things that just conscious and intentional about when it comes to the life of members and turning passion targeted audience. I would have loved to share some slides, but basically, I want you to just follow me as I when it comes as I make my basically I said turning passion to profit. So the end point is I would like fulfillment. And what is life? People can define fulfillment in many ways. When I get tired, when I have my car, when I have when I have all this. Basically I said fulfillment is not an passion to profit. The end non-profit fulfillment where your potential finds people can define fulfillment for positive, productive, and profitable expression. I want to repeat that again. It will be positive, it will be productive, and it will be profitable. Positive in terms of adding positive value, good value to humanity or your community or your organization or yourself. That is what you are bringing out, had something that increases the value of another entity or another individual. So that means it's a value added to the person's life or the organization generally. So it has to be positive. Now it has to be productive. Productive in this context means that let me make it very easy. You met something at 0, and because of your intervention, it increases to 100. So that means you are quantitatively improving a particular scenario. That is being productive. Productive means creating solutions that can improve a situation or that can turn around a situation. Being productive is using skills that you have and translating them into activities that will increase output or an outcome of a particular event or organizational goal. So, and finally, it has to be profitable, and I think that's where I am going. Basically, fulfillment has to be something that is profitable to you and profitable to the society. You know, many times we are taken aback by the fact that we just want to add value to people, we just want to be productive, but most times we leave our own part, aside. There was a short video I saw where someone was saying, in 3 seconds, think about the people you love. And after 3 seconds, he said that most of us think about the people we love and we forget ourselves. So basically, think about yourself, because the improvement you have on yourself, the value in addition you have in yourself, probably in terms of how much you're able to earn, in terms of the connections you're able to make, in terms of leverage you're able to have, okay, the whatever you are committed to do through your potentials must be able to bring positivity. I mean, not must be profitable to you. Okay, so that is what fulfillment means. So basically, the end point of turning passion to profit basically is to find fulfillment, so that after all said and done, you are not forgotten in the equation. So basically, don't forget that. So how do we make sure these things happen? Basically, Passion is what I consider a raw material. Then value is a refined product, while profit is the outcome, not the output, but outcome. So I'm going to speak on those three things briefly. Then if we can take questions, then we'll wrap it up. So number one, your passion. Passion basically refers to things that drives you, things that you can identify with, things that speaks to your strength, things that speaks to your capacity, things that speaks to your ability. That everybody, I am very sure every one of us have our own area of. To ask yourself a few questions if you are still struggling with who you are. What are the things I do that others find difficult to do? Number two, what are the things that when they are not done right, I feel very bad or feel agitated? Number three, what are the things that I can do that money is not the motivation? Number four, this one is a bit tricky. What are the things that people say I'm good at? Okay, I need to probably get people's opinion or survey. It might come to you unsolicited, or you can actually solicit for those kind of things. So get those information about yourself. Okay, understand what drives you. Now when you understand what drives you, then your identity is easily discovered. So basically, passion talks about your identity. Okay, and when your identity is discovered, clarity is inevitable. So basically, when you have clarity, okay, it helps you to plan the short term and long term, and whatever happens in between, you know there is an end, and the vision that you have based on the clarity that you have gotten since you've gotten the true identity of yourself, helps you to go through helps you to develop resilience, especially when the normal challenges towards achieving your goal come. So it is that clarity of identity that drives you. Then what do you do with your identity after you've identified it? The next thing is to develop it. Okay, grow capacity, learn how to make it better. Okay, you might have talent, but you might not have a skill. So a talent becomes a skill when it is developed. So you might have passion, you might have some people can sing, but if they are not trained to be a singer, they will still mess things up when they make presentations. So you need to develop that identity that you've gotten about yourself. The next thing is to test it. Okay, test it. Make sure you take it through a litmus test to actually find out if truly it is your thing. Okay, get engaged in organizations. If you're not a member of Enactus Statute, it's an avenue for you to truly identify yourself. Basically, I found myself through this program. So I found out what my capabilities are. I know what I can do. I know my strength, my weakness. And through this program, it's an experiential learning platform. So here you can make mistakes. Here you can learn about yourself. Here you can learn about people. There you can grow emotional intelligence. Here you can grow a lot of things. So test your passion. Test what you've identified. Then you can now explore. Okay? Explore. Take a plunge. Take that risk. Move to the front of your classroom. Speak about something. If you have something to say, tell your course rep, just give me 10 minutes. I need to speak to the class. I need to do, just go. One of the first ever project we did for Enactus Statute, I just had about 30 seconds, less than 1 minute, to speak with the branch manager of UBA branch in Ijebu back then. And I wasn't even prepared. I just went to make inquiry, and I was taken straight to her office. And she said, "Okay, young man, I'm giving you 1 minute." 1 minute on a 30 minutes meeting, and I value that. Eventually, UBA supported our project, and it was very successful. So, explore. I'm talking of what happened in 2007. I wouldn't know where many of you are there. So, but basically, That was the beginning of it all. Then we have connect. Reach out to people with similar interests, get a mentor, let them guide you through. Okay, it saves you a lot of heartache when you have a guide, okay, and you value the guide, and your mentor does not have to be physical. You can connect with them on LinkedIn, connect with them everywhere, and they will always be ready to share the experience and what they've learned with you. Then, I said the transition has three parts: the passion, the value, the profit. So we're done with the passion, where I said you have to identify, you have to develop, you have to test, you have to explore, and you have to connect. Now let's talk about value. And that is where you now convert the raw the raw passion, the raw potential into something that can be exchanged for something. Value basically talks about a product or service that can be exchanged for money or for something equivalent. Basically, entrepreneurship talks about idea, okay, converting idea to value in exchange for money, okay, in a commercialized and institutionalized environment. So basically, here you convert your passion to value, something that can be exchanged for money or equivalent. Now, basically, the challenge with us basically is that we value, okay, let me put it this way. How we value ourselves determines our value system and the price we pay on what we do. Basically, if you don't value yourself right, even when you are providing a multi-million naira solution, it will mean nothing to you. And when you present it to people as it means nothing, they will give you nothing in return. So basically, you must first work on your self-worth, okay, so that you can successfully convert your passion to value. Okay, you must work on your self-worth. Okay, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, just tell yourself, I'm very special. Okay, if someone asks you, okay, I want you to do a stuff for me. I do stuff for people right now. If you want me to write stuff for you, if you want me to do stuff for you, you pay me in pounds, you pay me in dollars. So basically, these are the things I do normally. And we have done some for free in the past, but these are things that can make us rich. These are the things that can make us get value for the skills that we have built over time. So basically, when you converting your passion to value means you're making your skills worthwhile. So basically, it starts from your self-worth. Then another part there is developing that skills. Okay, developing that skills. Now, acquiring a particular skill does not end there, because things change. The dynamisms of challenges, dynamisms of people's requests or customers' requirement changes over time, and you must be able to grow your skill such that you remain relevant as things are changing. Basically, IT in fourth industrial revolution is here. Digital economy has permeated every part of the world globally. It is your responsibility to see how you can always drive whatever you do at the moment through technology, and that will always put you at the competitive edge. Then you must be able to brand what you call the value you are selling. You must be able to brand it. Now, branding is an entrepreneurial drive to ensure that whatever you call value is institutionalized, is commercialized. Now, basically here, you must be able to institutionalize your passion. Now, for instance, I have passion for capacity development. So I first started it as a smooth development center. Later, I moved it up to International Partnership for Human Capital Development. And I've been able to permeate several sectors, and they have attracted several opportunities. So many times, people don't deal with you as an individual, they deal with you as a brand. So what is your brand? So your brand must be able to reflect your value, while your value must be able to reflect your passion. So you must be able to sell. So I've mentioned self-worth, development of your, under value, I've mentioned self-worth, development, branding. Now, selling. Okay, you must not be afraid to go about selling your skills. You must be able to write proposals. You must be able to negotiate. Okay, you must be able to negotiate. You've gone through experience that has built you over time. An institution paid for it, and that just gave you the platform. You worked hard to make it happen. Then don't be afraid to sell. Okay, when you are given 30 seconds, go and learn about 30 seconds elevation pitch. Grow ahead of time is your research. Know the trend. Do how you can predict the future and be ahead of change. Then profit. Okay, under profit, remember, let me just do a recap. Under value, you have your self-worth, development, branding, selling, and reinvent. And under profit, you have the pricing. Okay, you must not price yourself less. Okay, if go and check out, if you are supposed to write script for people, how much do they write script? And please get it done in dollars. Okay, you know the worth of Nigerian naira is very, very shameful right now. So you must be able to quote your money, your price in dollars. Okay, and don't be afraid to lose people who say, oh, they don't want to pay, they want it for free. Please let them go, they are not yours. Okay, number two, control. You must be able to control who gets what and when concerning the value you want to present. You must be able to control that. Okay, remember, not everybody is worth giving your time to. Okay, but nevertheless, there are some people that are worth giving your time to who are not going to pay you in cash, but they will pay you in kind, and you will leverage on that kindness into a bigger stage. So you must be able to discern that, and that's what I call control. You must be able to value your time. Okay, today's workspace is about two factors: your skill and your time. So you must be able to see how you can get value for your time. If you must be able to, when you put price on your value, then you must say, okay, if I commit this value into a process for 1 hour, how much will it cost me? You must, how much will I gain from it? Okay, you must be able to settle that, and that is a lot of work to do, but you must do it. Okay, if you must convert your passion to profit, then you must understand what the difference between quantity and quality. Okay, and you must be able to do the metrics of the two in such a way that it will benefit you. And finally, you must be able to grow your base. Okay, increase your client base. Okay, that's the only way you can increase revenue. And the more experience you have in solving problems, okay, the more growth you experience too. Okay, and the more growth you have, the more opportunities that you have. Okay, and finally, let me just wrap it up here. Basically, I always ask this question: what will you prefer, in iPhone 14 Pro Max or Nokia 3310? If you can just write a message. Okay, which one would you prefer? Now I see everybody like phones. So your capacity determines your value. You determine how much you are valued. Okay, and how much price you want to charge everyone to grow their value system through their passion. After identifying their passion, and they must be able to learn how to put the price on what they do so that it can be converted to profit. So I want to thank you for your time. If there's any question, I will take that. And thank you.
Wow. I don't know if anyone is, I don't know, but to be candid, I gained a lot from this. So, sir, we have some questions for you. Now, the number one question is, what is the difference between entrepreneurship and digital skills? The difference between entrepreneurship and digital skills.
All right. Thank you. Entrepreneurship, basically, as I've mentioned in what I've said, was just conversion of idea into value that is institutionalized and commercialized. In that definition, you see four things. value, conversion, idea, conversion, value, institutionalized, and commercialized. Idea means a unique solution that you're bringing on board. Okay, remember, whatever you call your solution, you need to investigate, you need to research. Okay, I had an idea one time like that, a power bank. I can have a device like a power bank that has that works as power bank, that works as external memory storage, and act as a Wi-Fi too. So in the process of me getting a Chinese company to make that for me, I said, let me just check if this kind of product is even available. Voila, it's everywhere in China. So basically, converting of an idea into a value in such a way that it is institutionalized, like registered as an entity, as an organization, then sell the value in form of product and services to make money, which is commercialization, is what entrepreneurship is all about. Okay, converting ideas into values that are institutionalized and commercialized. Now, digital skills are just like any other traditional skills. Okay, are just like any other traditional skills. Skills are skills unless you convert them into value that makes money. So when you convert them to value that makes money, then you can say you are being entrepreneurial with your skills. Okay, but if you, okay, now you can be an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. An intrapreneur is someone who has entrepreneurial capacity but works for an organization. Okay, but an entrepreneur is someone who establishes his own organization and runs it. So that's the difference between the two. So digital skills can be a leverage to become an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. But having digital skills is not enough unless you grow that capacity to convert it into money. Okay, so having digital skills is good, but doesn't equate it as an entrepreneur. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that brilliant answer. So another question, sir. To be a successful business personnel, what are the things you have to do? To be a successful business personnel, what are the things you have to do?
All right. To be a successful business personnel, what are the things you have to do? Basically, number one, you must be a lifelong learner. Let me just first put that, because business is not something that comes just like a magic. Okay, it takes a whole lot of resilience. It takes a whole lot of hard work. So basically, there's difference between business and entrepreneurship. Okay, that might be a discussion for another day, basically. But a business basically talks about converting value. I mean, converting product and services to money. Okay. Now, you might be an entrepreneur entirely, but basically, a businessman, what he does is see a product, see an opportunity. Okay. That's what sometimes we call it niche. Okay. So, see point of deficit and see and leverage and create transaction, basically. Okay, create transaction. So basically, what a businessman looks at is, oh, there's a product that needs to be sold. I have where it can be sold. Okay, so I make the exchange happen. Okay, so that is what a business people does. So basically, a business person who needs to succeed, number one, must be able to be alive to his environment. You must be able to identify where you can get things in a more competitive prices. Okay, you must be able to identify how you can strategize your marketing and your sales price. You must be able to leverage on connection, because it makes things faster. I tell you, connection makes things faster. I was a business development manager for an IT organization, and within 1 year we're able to rake in over 100 million naira, just because we are able to leverage on relationships. Because what will take you 10 years to achieve on at a stretch, okay, will take you probably less than a year to achieve with connection. So a business person must be able to leverage on connection. Okay, that's even their strength. Okay, and must be able to withstand risk when it comes. So basically, that is what it takes to be a businessman. You must be 100% your they call it business acumen. Your acumen must be very high. You must be agile. You must be ready to see opportunity in everything, and you must be ready to sell. Okay, that's what drives you. Okay, connecting surplus with deficit. Okay, that's where you make your money as a businessman. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Much, sir. Thank you, sir, for the answer. I got something from there, which is a business person must be able to leverage on connection and strength. So, one more question, sir. How can one be a vibrant entrepreneur in a state of zero cash or insufficient finances? How can one be a vibrant entrepreneur in a state of zero cash or insufficient finances?
All right. Thank you. Basically, being a vibrant entrepreneur takes a whole lot, and a lot of businesses don't kick off fully in a year or 2 years. Okay, there was a statistics that businesses 80% of businesses die after 5 years, then like up to 60% of businesses die before 10 years. So whoever is going to be an entrepreneur must be able to grow capacity and resilience. Now, being an entrepreneur with zero finances, how would you make this happen? Very easy. Number one, you must be able, there's something we call canvas. Okay, you must be able to, there are several templates of business canvas everywhere online. You can go Google it and check it out. So the moment you to work together with you, okay, initially you might not even have to share all the profits yourself. Even if you have the best ideas, you must be able to leverage on other people, okay, other people's resources to make it happen. So with that, when people get to know your capacity and you build a value system around your business, value system of integrity, okay, of confidentiality, of commitment, of all those things, and people can vouch for you over time, you can now leverage on those goodwill, okay, to attract investors or attract business opportunities. So basically, to grow as an entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur with zero capital, will require you to be one versatile, will require you to be open to partnerships, will require you to even probably do some stuff. In economics, there's something we call sunk cost. Okay, there's something we call sunk cost. Okay, you should be able to say, okay, I want to do some things for free. Okay, not because I want to make money out of it, but because I want to create an image out of it. So it is that image that will bring connect that you need to make all the profits that you want, and will even pay for the ones you have done for free. Okay, so I think that is it.
Thank you so much, sir. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you should not stop talking because I've really gained a lot. My notepad is literally full now. Thank you so much once again, sir. God bless you. Thank
All
you for
right,
this
it's nice
section.
having all of you. Yeah.
Now we'll be inviting our next speaker actually, and our next speaker is Mr. Ishola Adebayo. Mr. Ishola Adebayo. So I'll be reading a brief bio about him. So Mr. Ishola Adebayo is an insightful result-driven educational technology instructor and is also a professional development expert with outstanding distinction in planning, in analyzing, implementing solutions in support of corporate objectives. And Mr. Ishola Adebayo is a tech man. Like I don't know if we can relate with the word tech man. seriously. And also he has an interest in human computer interaction and innovation in education, and is passionate about education, is passionate about educational technology. So I'm 100% sure that we have the right speaker for this time, because he's really going to like break it down the way Mr. Akifala has done. So please let's welcome on board Mr. Ishola Adebayo. Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I want to confirm that my audio is working fine, right? Uh, is my audio working perfectly?
Yes, it is, sir.
Oh, okay, great. All right, thank you very much. I must commend the effort of the team for actually putting this together, and also the amazing speakers that also be speaking along with this very morning. The theme of the conversation, basically, education and entrepreneurship, and I've been asked to talk about the topic when I got the invitation. Is education really profitable at all? Um, at some point, I need to be 100% sure that my microphone and internet is working fine. Maybe via chat, so that can be a smooth safe conversation. Thank you very much. While I do not have an already prepared slides to guide the conversation, but basically, I'll be able to share insights and thoughts on the topic as it were, so that we can all agree with me basically on why I agree that education is profitable. It's not a debate actually, because for example, it is all what everyone across the world can relate with, particularly in our region here in Nigeria. So ASU went on strike for the reigning ASU strike, right? The current trending ASU strike, right? Went on for about 8 months. And interestingly, one would have expected if education wasn't profitable, that students alike would shun or would not want to return back to school. But alas, the case wasn't that. It was confirmed because I work in an academic environment also at the moment. So it was interesting to know that even there was overflow of students back on campus that wanted to pick up from where they stopped earlier in the year. So it tells you for a fact that if that education process, all right, the process of schooling, right, is not profitable, individuals, young learners, or even the educators will not be willing, will not want to try, will not have that courage to now go back and then continue forth with what they stopped with. And I say again, for example, and as I said, this topic is not open for debate. It is what all of us can relate to it and also verify. And because it is practical. In Nigeria, for example, of today, we've seen experiences that are bound. Say during the electionary period that Nigeria is going to in 2023, that the minimum qualification before you can say you want to contest for any position will be an SSC or a first degree, master's or PhD as it were. You might they might not necessarily use those certifications for work placements and all of that, but it's a fact. Is a noted one form of education or the other. So the question now again is, isn't education profitable in that regard? Because a roadside mechanic, for example, or an artisan without education will not be able to now push him or herself forward for that election process. So I say, for example, and I agree that education is profitable in that realm. Another example that we can also relate with is what is in vogue right now, the jackpot syndrome, right? I know of brothers, sisters that are jackpotting every day, and that the first point of call to them will be for education, before they can even settle down for anything at all in those cities or countries they are planning to step into, will be to earn a certification. So there is a form of education process that must also occur. And the question again is, isn't education profitable in that realm or regard? The answer is a rhetorical question, so I trust that everyone on this call, on video, on YouTube Live, will be able to put responses and say, okay, truly, education is profitable. But in another sense of it, if we say education, are we talking about knowledge acquisition? Are we talking about schooling? Are we talking about skills development? Are we talking about professional development? So we now need to segment and own our space as regards that. Because ultimately, if you go to school or if you do not go to school, what we're all trying, or what we're all pushing, or what the outcome of value is money. Even if you graduate in first class or graduate with a local or pass or thereabout, at the end of the day, you just must be able to pay your bills. So what the role of education will be basically is to basically give you an edge. A lot of time we see young graduates say they are done out of NYC and all of that. There's no job, there's no that. It's about adding value. That's the place of education. I for one do not agree to the rhetoric that says education is a scam. If it is a scam, we will not even want to complete that process. So why are you then in the four walls of a classroom environment, right? So the basic, so that I do not lose the thought, basically what I'm trying to point out here is that the place of education is key for human development, and it has given us everyone an edge. If there is no place of education today, if any of us on this call hasn't been educated, we will not even be able to navigate our way on Google Meet, YouTube, and all of these linkages, and has ability to be able to reach out to the entire world. Because we are not just reaching out to our local community alone, yet we are reaching out to the diverse of individuals that are streaming this platform, streaming this video right now, even during and after this call. So for me, basically, in short, I have been given a number of duration already. So for me, basically, education is profitable, and the value around it is limitless. It cannot be limited. It is limitless. From primary education to secondary to tertiary education, we cannot overemphasize while we all need to be educated. And that we have even gone beyond the age of be able to read A for apple, write 1, 2, 3. Now it is digital education. Ability to be able to use your iPad, laptops, iPhone, and all of these devices profitably to your advantage. And I trust that with all of this that I've said, I've been able to convince and not confuse everyone on this call that education is profitable and that we all need to own our space in regard to that. I'll be open to questions, conversations, or suggestions alike. Over to the moderator, please. Yeah.
Like, wow, this is really really educative actually. Thank you so much, Mr. Ishola Adebayo. And see, I've almost finished this my Bible like this. But we've really learned a lot, and I'm sure that my people out there that are watching us and are listening to us have also learned a lot. I've learned that value is not education is profitable, and the value around it is limitless, and as well education is not a scam, because I can recollect that you said that very well. And before I proceed to the question and answer, I have one of my friends that I have to like just tell the person that you have to join this thing because it's really going to be educative. And the person's mentality is okay. Education is all about coming to school, just well, shall let me attend classes and they should give me certificates and then that's all. But with what you said within the short period of time, I'm sure that the person is also listening to us and the person has actually learned that it is far beyond you just going to classes and just get your certificate and you finish school and then you don't have anything to do. You have a lot of things to gain in school. The enactors that I'm in now, I'm sure that I've actually gained a lot than what I can actually gain in my classroom. So thank you so much for that once again. So I'll be asking you like about 2 or 3 questions. So now we all know that education. I'll start nursery, primary, go to secondary school, tertiary institution and all. And majority people out there, they are thinking about entrepreneurship is that you own a business. Okay, they said I have passion to be selling clothes or to sell shoes. Then you start the business and you're sha doing the business so that you'll be able to make profit. So my question now is, what is the difference between education and entrepreneurship? Is there even any difference at all? Are they related in any way or they are not, sir? Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I know these are just semantics, and how do I mean playing with words, but fine. We need to put it out uh, very correctly. In a in the department that I operate right now, there's a course we call entrepreneurship of educational technology. You know, so and what does that really mean? Because I teach that course basically. Um, the education, as it were, ability to be able to read, write, learn, listen, and all of those basics. Now, you know, I want to put business into it. The business of education. Yes, let's put it that way. The business of education. If you are not able to discern what your earlier speaker was talking about, skills, your talent that needs turned into skills. What you can use your advanced will call it sure, what you can use your hand to do. Basically, you must have a vocation. Like we are currently studying, what you apply to study, right? Is different from what your vocation is, and that gives that narration, right? That gives the difference between what education is and what entrepreneurship is, right? The business side, everyone must become an hustler in that regard. The hustler not on the street of glass, but be able to use your instinct, ability to be able to think rightly, what is right from what is wrong, what is correct, understand financial planning, financial management, the business angle of it. How do you use that certificate that you have gotten, that you have bagged, right, profitably, to be able to add value to humanity, not even just to yourself alone, your humanity, your family, your nuclear net setup, your extended area, your country, your region, and better the society for it. Because the certificate that you have gotten from your 4-year, 5-year, or 6-year program in a university setting should not be worthless. It is not just a paper. It is not just an A4 color paper. No, that is not the purpose that it serves. You have been enlightened to enlighten others. You are now a light. You are now a torch bearer, right? To open or to put light into darkness, right? So that is the space of education. And but now to be able to now turn it into value, that is when we now begin to talk about entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, for example, in today's 2022, should go beyond your near you are a face painter, you are all of this. That is not the thinking of entrepreneurship. Your entrepreneurship should leverage technology. You now talk about product designer, UX designers, graphic design, all of this that leverages technology, right? Don't let me take too much time, but I think I've been able to just give the nexus and what the difference should be around education and entrepreneurship, basically, in summary. Thanks.
Thank you so much once again, sir, for that.
Yeah.
I've actually, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one gaining a lot of things today, and my mindset is actually being changed. The perspective at which I'm looking at education and entrepreneurship has actually changed to a better view. And when you were talking, you said, okay, it goes beyond makeup and tailoring. It goes beyond you just opening a shop today and just staying there and you are looking for people to come and patronize you and all. So we have to leverage this, the way at which you are doing, okay, I want to do this business. We also have to leverage it down to technology, to the technology aspect. So it works hand in hand. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Now, the second question is I don't know how to put this actually, but because I've heard of programs that they say, okay, is school scam? Is the education scam? Is school, like, do we really have to go to school when we can always learn online? We can always just just go to Google Chrome or this and you type this, and then they are giving you what you want already, other than for me to just be going to school, walking around in the sun and all. So is school really a scam? Over to you, sir.
I know the jargon son is not friendly, but that's just by the way. Yes, so basically, in all honesty, the place of school environment cannot be totally phased out. I know, for example, Google is doing a 6 month certification program that you don't need to even go to any school, right? Even abroad or in Nigeria or anywhere at all, is a 6 month certification paid for on 4 skills area. And that if you get that certification for 6 months, you can begin to work with Google. Everyone can do that out of secondary school. If you're in high school, you can just get to do that and begin to work with Google. Oracle is doing that, Microsoft, a lot of them. Google is doing Google's Academy. Several of these Udemy, Udacity, Coursera, and all of that. You self-learn at your own pace. But I tell you for a fact, the place of connection, the place of leveraging opportunities cannot be totally taken out away from. I teach educational technology, and that is what we create, like virtual education, open learning, distance learning, all of this and all of that. But I can tell you for a fact that it is on, there is no argument about it. We have come to realize that all of these, even at the airport, these are technology are facing it out. But the mode of teaching and learning, in 500 years to come, will continue to go to school. Corona shut down the space of schooling. We leverage technology. We were online, we were offline. It can only just be hybrid. The conferences like this are fantastic, going online and all of that. But you cannot take away the place of that networking, sharing your business card, meeting contact, all of these. You cannot totally face it out, in all honesty. And that's why education or schooling is not a scam. It has its own, it has a role that it plays in the society, and it cannot be totally phased out. And we just have to just see or find a way by which we cannot blend and adapt to this new reality and the changes that is occurring with it. I hope I've been able to answer that question correctly to your interest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Wow. I don't know. It's like you should just continue talking, because the way you're actually breaking the educational aspects relating to entrepreneurship and relating to the fact that is school really a scam is wow. Thank you so much for this section, sir. We appreciate you. We are grateful. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll be moving on to the next thing. Our time is really fast spent. Um okay, so it's game time, game time, game time, game time. And this is actually um going to our audience out there, and it's going to really show if you are active or not. So now it is a first come first serve thing actually, because I'm going to be reading out some questions, and if you are the first to type the answer on the comment section, hey, we have a lot of big prizes to be won. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, because me sef, those prizes are just too big that you must win it. So now, okay, now the other thing is the big force, the big force, the big force. So we need somebody or a few number of people to actually unscramble the word. So now what I mean is the big force, you have to form a word out of that word, the big force. So you have to form a word out of it. See, I'm on the comment section. No, I'm waiting for the time. Those prizes, I'm sure you don't want to miss out though. So now the big force, the first two people to form words out of the big force, unscramble the words, the big force. Hey, I'm not seeing anybody. The big force. I'm already going with my prize. Oh, thank you. Going. The big force. Form a word out of it. The big force. Okay. People don't want me to go with my gifts. Okay. Miss Elizabeth Anoluwapo. I think she's the first person. She formed the word big. Then Kende Mutiu formed the word us feels. Okay, we have Elizabeth boss, Elizabeth Anoluwapo bet, Matthew Ayomide boss gift. Okay. I'm actually going to announce my winner because I said from word out of big four. So I don't expect you to give me big again. And I don't expect you to give me G. And I don't expect you to give me force. So who is winning my prize? Who is winning my prize? We have Matthew and Kende Mutiu, Bug and Boost. Yes. Emmanuel Azegba, first big bet. No, I won't accept that. Okay. Okay, you can keep dropping in okay, you can keep dropping in your comments. So I have my winners actually. So Elizabeth Anoluwapo, she formed the word bet, and Kende Mutiu formed the word us and feels. Thank you so much for that. So on to the next. So this is actually a brain teaser, and I'll be reading the question just twice. Please, let's all be attentive. I'll be reading the question twice, and the first person to drop his or her comment, his or her answer, will also be winning another mouth-watering prize. Trust me. So now the first question is: your mother gave birth to 4 children. Your mother gave birth to 4 children. The firstborn name is North. The second name is East. The third one is West. Who is the fourth person? Your mother gave birth to 4 children. The firstborn name is North. The second one is East. The third one is West. Who is the fourth born? Hey, people like see how it are dropping. Okay. Elizabeth Anoluwapo, I'm not going to give you this again. So well, South is actually the wrong answer. South is not the answer. So Akite Mayowa Samuel actually got it. He said me. So the answer is me, and that prize goes to Akite Mayowa Samuel. So we have 3 winners now. We have Elizabeth Anoluwapo, we have Mutiu, and Akite Mayowa Samuel. So that it will not be like I'm a selfish person, I'll be reading the last question for us to, because I cannot finish all this prizes here. I cannot use everything finish. So now the last question is, I guess you are familiar with alphabet, right? We all know we went to primary school now, so we all know we are familiar with alphabet A B C D. So now, what is the first 5 letters of alphabet? So simple. The first to type wins my prize. What is the first 5 letters of alphabet? It's going on. It's going on. What is the first 5 letters of alphabet? Simple as A, B, C. Thank you. Oluwademisola Olabisi actually got the question. So now the first five letters of alphabet is actually alpha, not A, B, C, D, E, F. Thank you so much. So thank you all to all those who have won my prizes. We'll see you people. You are so lucky for today because thank you so much for that. So we have four winners for our prizes.
All right, so it's time for us to listen to our next speaker. I wish I won't give away actually, but God understands. So now we'll be having our next speaker, Mrs. Precious Adeyinka. This topic we're about to talk about, I know we have so many people encountering that problem. Should I call it a problem? Not really a problem, but a problem. So we have so many people out there that really have issue with this particular thing. So our next speaker is Mrs. Precious Adeyinka, and she'll be talking about finding your voice. Finding your voice. I know we have so many people out there that have problem with talking publicly. Like if you call them to come and talk, it's like you're giving them the biggest problem in this world. And it's not really a hard thing, talking to the crowd, facing the crowd is not really a hard thing. But some people they see it as a problem. So Mrs. Precious Adeyinka is here to talk about finding your voice. In case you have any question, please keep it because I won't lie, we have so many people encountering it. Now, I'll be reading a brief bio about Mrs. Precious Adeyinka. Passionate about media, mental health, technology and education with an SDG focus on gender equality with over 8 years experience in community service, advocacy with professional volunteering. Precious is a Nigerian social entrepreneur and a mental health practitioner. That mental health. Committed to revolutionizing mental health awareness, advocacy and action across Africa by providing a platform for Africans, especially teenagers and young adults, to have a shot at being mentally healthy humans with access to quality mental health care and program. We all know how important our mental health is because you know how rampant depression is now. So she is a mental health practitioner. Now she is a member of Billionaires Book Club, participant of the Mastercard Foundation CNY program in partnership with EDC Pan Atlantic University 2022, and has volunteered to many worthy causes like Enactus, team lead of a 48-man team 2018, Feed Me Africa, King's World Campus Fellowship, etc. Precious is the founder and director of operations at Mental Drive Africa, a mental health organization founded in 2020 to create mental health awareness across communities in Africa down to the grassroots, advocate for the mental health needs and give voice to the struggle of Africans, especially teenagers and young adults, while taking concrete actions in creating platforms for affordable and quality mental health care. Precious is also the pioneer team lead of Mentality program, where teenagers across public secondary schools are groomed as Mental Drive African ambassadors, and the train the trainee approach gives room for the ripple effect impact for teenagers. Now that is the brief bio about Miss Precious. So I'll be inviting Miss Precious now to break down and explain to us on the topic finding your voice. So once again, help me welcome Miss Precious.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Odun Melanie. I hope I got that. Thank you, IBK. Thank you, Enactus. And to my boss, should I say my bosses on this call? I'm starting first with Mr. Victor Akinfala. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, because Enactus started with you, And this is the ripple effect. We are the ripple effect of that decision you made over 15 years ago. And to Mr. Ishola Adebayo, I think I've been following back to back. So thank you also for staying committed to the cause. So last, I don't think I've met last personally, but it's actually an honor and a privilege to be on this guest list with you. Thank you, everyone. I don't think I've gotten used to my bio being read to me, so pardon my expressions when she was reading my bio, because I don't know if it is. So hello, everyone. Trust you're good. Trust you're staying safe wherever you are. Good morning. And just like it has been read, my name is Precious, and I am going to be talking on finding your voice. And in fact, it was a merge of two topics that I know that's Michael Latin is doing. It says find your voice, or finding your voice, and self-discovery. Yes, so self-discovery. So just to correct this notion, when it says find your voice, it's not necessarily about public speaking. It's not necessarily about you standing before the crowd to address people. It goes beyond that. Finding your voice is you finding expression of who you are as a human, or should I say a human being. So finding your voice is you finding your why. Why am I who I am? That's the basic way to put it. So when we are coming to the other part of self-discovery, it is you being able to identify, emphasis on identify who you are. So basically it's a merge. Find your voice, or finding your voice, and self-discovery. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. And please, if you can't hear me or my audio snitches at a point, please kindly let me know in the comment section. That's for those on the Google Meet. Just let me know, just a prompter will do. All right, and then to the host, please let me know when I have 5 minutes to go. I have a tendency of expatiating a whole lot, but I trust to keep to time. So finding your voice, what exactly is it? I've come to realize that over time, people there's something called Ariwoja. Let me put it that way. Ariwoja, and that's in Yoruba. So interpreting it directly in English is going to be the noise in the market. Yes, the noise in the market. And I've realized that people have tendencies, as humans, we have tendencies of getting distracted. Mr. Victor Akifala, you're distracting me already. Okay, so people have tendencies, as humans, we have tendencies of being distracted. The world is a large place. As much as we say, oh, it's a small world after all, you realize it really is a large place. The reason to say it's a small world is because, people meet people. When there's something one of my mentors used to say, it takes 5 people for me to meet the president. That means if I don't know the president before, that's President Buhari. If I don't know President Buhari before, it takes 5 people or less for me to connect to the president. You understand? And if I'm saying it takes 5 people or less, you realize that one person knows one person that knows one person that will definitely know the president. Am I correct? And you realize that truly the world is a small place, but at the same time, it's a large place. And it's easy for people to get lost. As in, it's easy for you to get lost. It's easy for you to struggle to find your place in the world. It's easy for you to struggle to find your voice in the world, because you have a lot of distractions, you have pressure, you have family pressure, you have societal pressure, you have religious pressure, you have relationship pressure, you have peer pressure, and you see different stages of pressure that way. So in finding your voice, in finding your why, or in discovering who you are, the first step to doing that is first of all, trusting yourself. It's really hard to trust yourself. It's really hard to trust your instincts. It's really hard to trust your guts, But immediately you're able to trust yourself first, it makes it easier to not be distracted, to not be easily swayed by pressure, to not be distracted or carried away by voices. Yes, by voices in your head or around you. So finding your voice, self-discovery, I'm trying to lay emphasis on the two because I don't know the magic Michael wants me to perform in 20 minutes. But finding your voice, self-discovery, all boils down to the first step, which is trust. And trust starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with, okay, I trust myself enough to make decisions that better my life. I trust myself enough to make relationships that improve my life. I trust myself enough to, different things. Oh, I trust myself enough to be disciplined. I trust myself enough to be consistent. I trust myself enough to stay committed to the goal. So it starts with you, and that's self-discovery. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little background of my story. I've always been this media person. I love to talk. That's it. That's me. I love to talk right from childhood. I love to talk. I love to meet people. I'm actually a people's person, when you get to meet me. But growing up, I realized I struggled a lot because everybody wanted to be my friend, or I am always everybody's friend. And then I realized that I don't have time for myself at the end of the day. I grew up being that girl in secondary school that, long break. And then I am talking to everybody from my school used to be a 3-story building. That's my secondary school. And I'm talking to everybody, greeting everybody. One teacher or the other is calling me to, okay, go and call Precious, come and do this, come and do that. And I realized that my long break is gone, and then I'll get punished for eating in class. That's the period after, And then I realized that, okay, this was not favoring me. But I'm a people's person, right? And then that grew. I grew out of secondary school. I gained admission, and then it was a situation of what's next with my life. Do I just keep being a people's person? Do I just keep being that girl that loves to talk? When people hear me, oh, you have a great voice. You're a model, you have a great body. Oh, are you this? And 100 level came into place. And then I got being in Tasford, and then I realized, okay, what do I want to do exactly in my life? I gained admission into English and Literary Studies department. I always wanted to do mass communication at Illinois, but then I got into Tasford, and then English and Literature Education. I'm tuition it if I'm saying English and Literary Studies. And then I got in for English and Literature Education, and I'm like, am I going to be a teacher? Am I going to be this? That Enactus will tell you have double honors. Don't worry, you can work in any field, you can work anywhere, you can do anything. I know most of you have you are healing from from that trauma. And then I got into 100 level, and I got in early. I was one of the first sets. When you say first batch, I got in first batch, and then I got approached by some clubs in school. I'll mention I got approached by Aristocrats. I got approached by Owl Media, because it was not looking like it was spreading. Oh, okay, there's this girl in English and Literary Studies. Her voice is this. She can present this. She can present that. And I really got tempted. I wanted to do the media life. I wanted to be the all I'm doing. But one thing I realized was this was not benefiting me in any way. It is my nature. But being my nature does not mean I shouldn't have control over it. That's why I said you have to trust yourself enough to be disciplined. That's the first step to self-discovery. So I realized, oh yes, I want to be in the media life. I really want to do media. But this was not going to push me to the end goal. What was my end goal? What do I want to achieve with my life? Some of us are lucky enough to have people around us that push us early. They ask you questions. Imagine me in secondary school and somebody was already asking me, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Some people did not get asked that question until they graduated from the university, So I had people around me that way that pushed me, that propelled me. Okay, what do you want to do? So I realized that, the media life is going to be there. It is my personality. It is me, and I just had to take a step backward. Aristocrats Radio was hot and doing and running, This skit making thing was just coming up then. That was in 2014. And then it was Enactus. I realized, okay, Enactus was a merge of what I wanted to do. I really wanted to help people. I didn't want to be one. See, and this was me coming from a background that had its own troubles and all of that. So I realized I wanted to help people. I wanted to serve. And at the same time, I could serve and also fulfill my media life. There's some, I don't know if we still do it in an actor status right now. When you get introduced after recruitment and all of that, they'll say, presenter 13. Like all the presenters are already, there's internal recruitment. I don't know if we still do that in an actor status. And it looked like every presentation team wanted me. And I realized, okay, that side of me was being fulfilled. I was going to present it, which is something I enjoyed doing. I do it effortlessly. But also the other side of me that needed fulfillment. Catchword fulfillment. I know Mr. Akinfala talked about that early. in a speech. Fulfillment, catchphrase, fulfillment. I realized the other side of Enactus was going to help me get fulfilled. Community project, social entrepreneurship, and I could still have my media life. Come on, what are you telling me? So this was a blend of the two, and I had to make a decision. Enactus was not going to pay me. Our media might have not paid me, but aristocrats, I get to roll with the big boys and the big girls on campus. But I had to make a decision. I had to trust myself enough to make decisions, which was what yielded. And I said in Enactus from the beginning of what's it called, my stay on Tacit to the end. And I ended up being team leader, and some of you know the story, and that ends. Now I'm going to fast track that story from 100 level. I told you how I discovered what I wanted to do. I realized I needed fulfillment. Media was second nature to me. I'd already discovered that. But what did I want to get out of my life? Now we're coming to the end of the story, which is 400 level towards the end, which is how I found my voice. You know, I've broken this down. Self-discovery, you have to discover who you are first. Do you get? Discovering who you are helps you identify what you would become, or helps you identify your why at the long end. So fast forward down to 400 level, I realized, I was being team lead, I was doing this, I was doing that, but I was broke. I was broke. At the end of 400 level, you know, I was a female team lead. I had a lot of relationships on ground. I had this, I had that. I had somebody that wanted to employ me and told me that for somebody that just graduated from school, my CV is too thick. Did you get that? A recruiter told me that's for somebody that is a fresh graduate, we can't employ you because your CV is too thick. Are you sure you went to school? Like the person was making a joke. Are you sure you had to study English or you had to study Enactus? Because I was explaining that I had a lot of opportunities through Enactus, which was a decision I made in 100 level. Don't forget that. And that was how I discovered myself. But now we are coming to the part of finding your voice. I realized passion was not enough. I needed money to run things now. I mean, babe, I needed money to run things. I needed the relationships I've already gathered. I needed it to yield results. I needed it to yield profits. You understand? So it wasn't just about, hello, sir, I want to be professor of clinical at FNAP. Oh, this is precious Enactus and blah, blah, blah. I needed it to yield for me because it felt like I trusted myself enough to have discovered my talent early. Not just stopping at discovering my talent. I've trusted myself enough to build in myself, to invest in myself. You know, but this is a point where I need to find my voice. A lot of us make the mistakes of, I'm in school, I'm very busy. Trust me, when you get out of school, that's when you understand what busy is. And I'm not talking about busy or what's it called? Let me just put that aside. I'm talking about busy because you'll be busy living life every single day. You know, when you're in school, that's when you have the best shots at doing whatever you want to do. There's no pressure of, I want me to graduate, you know, there's no pressure of, when you're in school, you're not a mechanic, you're a baller. But when you get out in the real world, you know, they used to tell us, the real world. And I'll be like, what can be realer than this real world? I'm the team lead of Enactus Star Suit. I'm, the campus pastor of my campus fellowship. I'm this, I'm that. I was doing NUESA, I was doing this, I was more. So we got out into the real world and realized, this is what we're doing. So now, finding my voice, like I said, I got out to realize that school runs was different from the outer world, Paru. Let me put it as that, Paru. And then it got to me, and I realized success was not about, or it is not. I'm not saying it was. Success is not about intensity. It is about consistency. I hope somebody got that. Success, results, solutions. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about go hard or go home. It is about go continually. Keep knocking, keep building, keep investing, keep expanding, keep growing, keep developing. You understand? So self-discovery, finding your voice, it does not start at it doesn't start at point A. You are evolving. You are evolving, and you need to acknowledge the fact that you are growing. I'm not talking about chronological or biological growth. I'm talking about this place here, because it might not even, some people are vampires, they don't grow old. Put it that way. So it's not about the face, it's not about the body structure, it is about it's about your output. You know, Mr. Father mentioned something, there's a difference between output and outcome. Okay, let me not let me not get into that. It's about what you give out, what you dish out. You realize that 100 level is not the same with 400 level. So self-discovery, you keep discovering yourself. It is not a fixed thing. It doesn't just happen at once. So you don't have to pressure yourself ahead. That's one thing. Trust yourself to not pressure yourself. Yes, that's my key point right now. You know, self-discovery is you keep finding expression. You don't just find expression and that's because the world is evolving. So if you feel like, oh, I'm going to discover A right now, and when I discover A right now, that is it. Forget. Even people that, okay, we have Mark Zuckerberg, right? He started out with Facebook, Instagram came into play, and you realize that this bros keeps evolving, keeps updates. Why do you think you have to keep updating the apps on your phone? It's because the world is evolving. New features are coming into place. That's the same way your mind should be. New features are being you should keep updating, you should keep upgrading, you know. So find your voice, find your expression. It's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process. It is a journey. I like to say something. In fact, some of my students at work have just I used to tell them, the journey of life is yours. Own it. It is, most of us are in a hurry to be at the destination that we sometimes forget that it's the journey that actually makes it pleasurable. The journey is the memory. You know, it's just like, oh, I'm in a hurry, I want to get to Lagos. I'm in Ibadan. And I'm in a hurry, I need to get to Lagos. Do you know that getting to Lagos is not the journey? Like, I'm looking for a better way to express it. Lagos is the destination, but you see the journey of Ibadan to Lagos Expressway. Oh, you hear unknown gunmen, I be unknown men, kidnappings, accident, this. You hear a lot of things, but do not forget that even on that journey from Ibadan to Lagos, you can buy corn on the road, you buy plantain chips. Oh, I love plantain chips, so I'm always looking out for it. So that journey is what life is. That journey is what life is. Between birth and death, life is what happens in between. So that life, you are journeying from birth to the day you die. Don't forget, everybody will die, so don't be scared of death. So you are journeying from birth, from when you're giving birth to when you're a baby, where you could barely do anything. You're growing, you're developing, you're journeying all the way down to death. You realize that life is what happens in between. So when we say enjoy life while it lasts, we are telling you to enjoy the journey. The journey of life is yours. Own it unapologetically. If you feel that, I said, trusting yourself is what is important. If you trust yourself enough to make decisions, everybody, bad decisions, good decisions, you trust yourself enough to own it with your full chest. That, okay, this is me making a decision to commit to this. This is me making a decision to stay committed and consistent on this path. You realize that you keep unfolding. I mentioned something. I said, okay, I joined Enactus because, okay, being media to me, or being a people's person was second nature to me. But I wanted more. I wanted to be able to serve. I wanted people's life to be better. I wanted to be a part of the change. You know, I didn't want to wait for change to happen to me. I wanted to be a part of the move. You know, and that was when I joined Enactus. And you know what? Right now, I'm still at the heart of social entrepreneurship, but I keep evolving. I keep growing, you know. So the journey of self-discovery is not a one-day thing, but it starts at one place. And where is that one place? That one place it starts from is trust with you, for you. Please let me know when my time is up. I think I'm stopped at 11:10. So the journey, it starts with you. It starts with you trusting yourself. It starts with you being able to identify that, oh, this is it, and this is what I'm going at. And then it starts with you trusting yourself enough to commit to the process. Most of us grew up in a generation that our parents, You know, growing up, I don't know for any other person, but growing up, okay, 3 minutes more, thank you. Growing up, I realized that, not even I realized, a lot of us must have faced it. A lot of us must have faced it. Our parents wanted us to carry first and come home. To bag me first, Wale. Hey, Songo. You know, that's just by the side. But they were not interested in how you were going to carry that first position. I don't know if a lot of you experienced that. They just know that they want you to be the first position in class. But mommy, I need to do this, I need to do that. They are going out. So a lot of our parents actually groomed lots of us to what's it called? They were interested in the results, they were not interested in the outcome. But this generation that we are in, outcome is what determines the results. They used to say, you get the idea. So don't let me embarrass you right now. But so it is not, most of them were not about the process, they're about the outcome. But one thing that can make you stand out is if you stay committed to the process. Sorry, I hope you can still hear me. We're having a lot of parts in our area. Is if you can stay committed to the process and not just the outcome. See, there is no way. Let me say this, and I think I'm just going to be ending on this. There is no way you stay committed to process, as in the right process now. Of course, don't get me wrong. A lot of people fail from processes. There's no way you stay committed to process and you not get outcome. But there is a way you can get outcome and not stay committed to process. I don't know if you get that. So it is your own choice. It's your choice. It's your duty. It is your line of action to stay committed to keep finding your voice, finding your expression. And how can you do that? Very simple. As in the simplest thing. How can you find expression? Check out your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities and threats. I think Mr. Akinfala mentioned that already. What was the thing that makes me stand out in the crowd? Pick it, identify. What are my weaknesses? Okay, then how can I get opportunities from my strengths? And what is the threat that I have? Me, my kind of person, I procrastinate a lot. That is my weakness. Then what are the threats I get from that? Okay, time up. All right, just a minute. So what are the threats I get from that weakness? The weakness of procrastination. What are the threats I get from it? I realize that sometimes I have pressure of deadline. You know, something they're giving me since January, deadline is October. I can't wake up October 31st to start running my project, you know. And I realized that is a threat. So how can you find your voice? How can you discover yourself? Itemize your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, you know, and then have a circle of accountability. A lot of people come, mentor me, ma. Excuse me, right now, you need to, in fact, let me put that aside. My time is up. Last line I would like to let you know is that there is no tough person out there. Don't pressure yourself. Yes, but at the same time, you have to pressure yourself into success. So you have to create a scale of balance. And one thing I will always say, which is one thing I want to leave you all with, is that erase the mindset of when tough times call, only tough people stay or only tough people show up. You don't have to be tough all the time. When tough times come, when the going gets tough, only the tough gets going, right? When the going gets tough, collaborate, ask for help. Don't die. Please, don't pressure yourself. Don't fall into depression at a young age. When the going gets tough, they say the tough gets going. You run, you. Hey, run. When the going gets tough on your journey of discovery, on your journey of finding expression, seek collaboration, ask for help. Ask for help from the right places. I'm not talking about the other side, you know. Ask for help from the right places. Be vulnerable. Be open to people. Add the circle of accountability. It's important. We were not made to do life alone. Always remember that. We're not made to do life alone. So on the journey of self-discovery, on the journey of finding expression, understand that you need people to survive. All right. Thank you very much for having me. And after Sasud, I think I'm done.
Wow. Like, I'm speechless, sincerely, because I really learned a lot, ma. You opened my eyes to see things in another dimension. Itemize your strengths, your weakness, your opportunity, and threats. You know, we have people that their weakness, they see it as a flaw that they cannot even do anything, but you asked us to itemize it. Wow. I also learned something, which is success is not about intensity, it's about consistency. No matter how hard it is, no matter how tough it is, we have to be consistent. Wow. Another thing again, first step to self-discovery, discipline. Wow. That discipline well, it really really takes a whole lot to be disciplined. I sincerely, honestly, I learned a lot. I won't lie to you, ma. So
Welcome.
we have some questions for you.
Okay.
That's a whole lot. Now the first question is, how can I overcome my fears in speaking publicly? How can I overcome my fears in speaking publicly? You know, I said it earlier that we have so many people dealing with that issue, and we would actually love you to help us out. Overcoming fears in speaking publicly. Thank you, ma.
Okay. Okay. So let me go at this. Overcoming fear in speaking publicly. The thing is, I think the emphasis should be on overcoming fear, because everybody speaks. When I say the emphasis should be on overcoming fear, I want you to understand that for the fact that you can open your mouth to talk, you're already talking in public. It's not like, how will I put it? People feel stage fright. Yes, we mix it, that's the word. Stage fright. We mix it up with talking publicly. As far as you are going outside to buy something from someone, you're already in public. So you're talking publicly. Just understand that. So there's a difference between stage fright and you telling me you have fear talking publicly. It takes discipline to do these things. It takes discipline. So when I'm saying, oh, you have stage fright in addressing the public, in addressing people, large crowd, and it depends on your definition of large crowd. There are people who address millions of people, and there are people who address 50, and that 50 is large crowd to them. And there are people that in a group of 10, it look like, oh, they want to faint, So everybody's, fear level is different. So that's why I said the emphasis is on overcoming fear. What scares you? What exactly scares you? I've realized we're working with people. I realize sometimes people don't feel confident in their grammar. That's why they are scared. It's not because they can't talk. They are only scared of making mistakes. And that's why I say the first thing is you should not be scared of making mistakes. In talking to people right now, I mean, I've made a lot of grammatical error, considering I'm even an English student or a graduate of English and literature. I mean, I made a lot of grammatical error. But the thing is, we don't dwell on it. On this side of victory, we don't dwell on the mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So in dealing with people, I realized, one, the reason they are scared of addressing people publicly is because they are scared of making mistakes. One. Two, I would always say that unless you have mouth odor, unless you have mouth odor, you should not at any point in time, let your fear grip you. Everybody is usually scared. Everybody is nervous, and it's very between being nervous and being scared. Some people faint where stage fright is concerned. But how do you overcome it? Consistency, discipline. Now, let me itemize this thing very quickly. There's a video I shared with someone yesterday on public speaking, and this is how the video went. You start with rehearsals. Take your phone, you record yourself. You discuss a topic, just pick an impromptu topic, and then you record yourself probably 5 minutes. After you record yourself, these are things that I do that helps me. After recording yourself, put the video down. Just listen to the voice alone. Do you get that? Listen to the voice alone. Okay, I'm listening to myself speak. I'm not looking at myself speak. I'm listening to myself speak. And then I'm jotting down all the errors I made. Probably while speaking, the tone of my voice, the pitch, this, that. That's step 2, right? Step 3, I mute the video. I'm telling you things I do at home all by myself. Step 3, I mute the video. Then I look at my expression. I'm not hearing anything, but I'm looking at myself speak. As in, I'm just looking at myself speak. My gesticulation, my body movement, my expression. Was I frowning where I was supposed to be frowning? And all of that. That's step 3. Then step 4, I unmute the video. I look at myself. And then I listen to my words. I listen out for, or I check out for fillers. When I say fillers, people that talk and they're like, you know what I mean? I need and I realized that my fillers are taking up out of 5 minutes. My fillers are out to like 2 minutes already. So I jot that down, and then I give myself the assignment of what should I do next? What should I do next? How do I stop these fillers? How do I work on my expression? Should I keep shining teeth like this, or should I keep my mouth straight? Or if I'm gesticulating too much, how long can I stand without gesticulating? And the thing is, the reason we go out there and fumble, let me put it in quotes, fumble, is because we don't rehearse. And everybody should rehearse, everybody should plan, no matter how, unless it's impromptu, no matter how professional you are. That, like I said earlier, you have to keep evolving, you have to keep rehearsing, you have to keep practicing. No matter how professional you are, you have to keep going at these things. So that's one way to overcome fear. The other way is the mindset. A lot of people say look above their heads. It doesn't work for me. I like eye contact. I like to look you eyeball to eyeball when I'm talking to you. So what works for you is what you should find out. You have to figure out your why, and figure out what works for you rather. So I hope that answers it well.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. I think I've been able to learn something now about overcoming my fears, staying in front of the camera, talking, muting the videos, trying to note out the feelers, if I'm right, to know where the errors are coming from. All right, Ma. Now, the second question goes this way. If you did not make the decision that got you where you are today, like I know there's a decision you took that got you to this stage. If you did not take that decision, would you have regretted it?
Okay.
So that's the question, man.
Okay, so that sounds like a really, really personal question. Question rather. So the thing is, every single day, humans, we make thousands of decisions. Thousands of decisions in the sense that, should I open my eyes when you wake up? Should I get down from bed right now? Should I pick up my phone? Should I text this person? Should I do this? Should I do that? And the truth is, you would always have decisions that you regret. Right now, So right now, there are decisions that I wish, or there are steps that I wish I had taken while I was in school, or while I was a fresh, graduate, that would have propelled me for something better right now, And then there are still some decisions I am glad I did not make, So answering the question of, are there any decisions that I regret not taking right now? Where I am right now. I think that's the best way I could give the answer. I do not regret where I am right now, because I make decisions and I make sure I find peace in them. That's one thing that propels me. Or that's one thing that keeps me going. When I make decisions, I make sure that I make decisions that I'm at peace with. So I don't make decisions out of pressure. I don't make decisions out of friend this, friend that, or I don't make decisions to please people. I'm naturally not a people pleaser. I don't know if you can see from my face. I'll give it to you the way it is. So I think that those are the things that help, that set me up on time. I make decisions that I am at peace with, so that even if there'll be regrets later, I'll know that with my full chest, I did it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. So the last question for this session, Ma. Self-awareness is very key to making success. Like the way you said it, we need to discover ourselves. So self-awareness is very key to making success. How do one get to be aware of himself? Like someone is asking, how do he or she get to be aware of himself? Thank you, Ma.
Okay. Awareness comes in different phases for people. It comes in different phases for people. And when I say different phases, I've gone through, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've gone through different phases, from being a graduate to being someone that was seeking jobs, to being a founder, to being, and I don't know, they're just different phases. To being a wife, to being a mom, they are just different phases. And the truth is, Nobody has a manual on how to live life. Nobody. So it is still key on you. It is still your responsibility to find your own expression, to find your own step. It is, like I said, the journey of life is yours. Own it. It is yours. Nobody can live your life for you. People can only propel you. People can only push you. People can even make decisions on your behalf. But at the end of it all, you are the one who is solely responsible for how you live life. When I say people can even make decisions for you, somebody can go and register for public speaking training. I mean, I went to a finishing school that was paid for. I'm talking about paid for. This was 2018 in thousands of naira, and I almost did not want to go to the finishing school. There's a limit to which people can push you. It depends on you too. It's just like having a bird in your hand, yeah, and then you keep pushing that bird. You keep where you jump, where you fly. If the bird does not spread its wings, it will just keep falling. There's no way about it. And that's the lifestyle of the bird. The bird is supposed to fly, right? The bird is supposed to fly. But if you keep, if you go to a skyscraper and say, okay, you this bird, or you must fly, whether you like it or not, and you throw the thing from the top of the skyscraper, or you fly, and you drop it, if the bird does not spread its wings, it will fall down and die. So self-awareness starts with you. You have to trust yourself. So the thing is, you even have to know what you are doing. Like, find your why by what's it called? Things you do, like I mentioned earlier, your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities and threats. If you cannot identify it yourself, get somebody. People get paid. Yes, people get paid to tell other people's stories. People get paid to identify other people's weaknesses. There's nothing people don't get paid for. Go on Fiverr. Go on. Okay, meet me. That's why we have human capacity development centers, which is one that Mr. Akinfala run. You pay these professionals, please let me figure out my life. If you feel you can't figure it out on your own, there's nothing that people do not pay for right now. So if it has gotten to that extreme that, you can't even figure out your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, then you can have people figure it out for you. But even when they figure it out for you, you have to now determine what you want your life to be, or how you want your life to be. I hope I answered that question well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you.
All that got me the most is I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller. Wow, see, I finished one bottle of water.
Okay.
My ink has finished because I've been writing and writing. So thank you so much for this section, ma. We can't thank you enough. Finding our voices, rediscovering ourselves, trusting the process, trust yourself. We should keep knocking, go continually and all. I'm sure that personally it has actually motivated me, it has gingered me, because I have some aspect that I'm still like, can I do this? And with your words I just said now, let me just say I just found my voice back, because it's like as you're talking, it's just a sister. Oh God, this me. But thank you so much for this section, ma. We can't thank you enough. Thank you for this commentary for us. God bless you, ma.
Thank you for having
ma.
me.
So we'll be moving on to the next section. But before we do that, I tell you that I cannot finish all these prizes that I have, because they are mouth-watering. So actually I have two small pieces of paper here with me, and you might be the lucky winner, who knows. So please, I want you to engage the comment section. If you are the lucky winner to win what is on this paper, maybe it's 1 million naira that is there, I don't know, maybe it's dollars, as dollar is rising now, if you can cash out with this small paper. So now the color of this paper is green color. Green. So I'll be calling out the numbers. You don't know, it might be to win millions of naira, it might be to win anything. So just write the number on your phone, and if you are the lucky winner, type in the comment section, I got it. So now, green color, green. So now I'll be calling the number 32 32 32 143 32 143 18526. So 32143 18526 83498. Who got it? Who got it, please? Who got it, please? I said it's green color. Please, let's check the comment section. Please, who got that? Who got it? Who got it? Okay, okay. Thank you. So we already have a winner for that. Now, yellow is the color. Now you have color yellow here with me. Ah. Okay, sorry for the break in transmission actually. So I'm here with color yellow and this one is bigger than that first one. So please, as I said earlier, so if you are the lucky winner, just type I got this in the comment section. So I'm about to start though. 0904 7539 575751 233 0904 7539 575751 233. Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? It is yellow in color. Yellow in color. Who got it? I'm going with my prize though. Thank you very much. So as nobody signified that he or she got it, I've gone with my prize. So thank you very much. So now I'll be moving on to the next section, and the speaker is one of our person. Is a student. Is a fine man too. Let me add that one to this. Okay. So now he was once a student. Sorry. So the next person that we'll be bringing on board, his name is Shoneye Abdulaziz Lekon, aka Shoneye Las. So now he's a lecturer of political science at Daisho College of Education, Omu, Ijebu, Ogun State. And he's a former SUG president at TASWED and the Southwest Nigeria coordinator of Alliance of Nigeria Students Against Neoliberal Attacks, and is an active member of the Socialist Workers and the Youth League. So he's also a youth organizer and is currently a trainee at the 2022 Friedrich Ebert Stiftung. That's FES. And also is a young workers training. Is an attendee of the training by the Organizing for Power. Is a USA based political educator for workers. So last as popularly known is a graduate of the political education from the Amilcar Cabral School, Aburi, Ghana, and is a volunteer at the Third Hand Initiative. He also is an NGO for humanitarian services and is a social commentator and a political analyst, and is also a writer who has contributed to discussions on public issues. Join me as I welcome Shoneye Las. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. We are with you.
Yeah, I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, you are, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I'm glad to be here this morning to join us in this historical conversation towards building ourselves, building our development, and then pursuing a common goal together. Firstly, I would have to apologize for joining the program a little bit late. I had an impromptu family arrangement and I had to travel down to my hometown to join. In fact, I had to, well, the team, the organizers have been talking to me in the background, trying to get something fixed because but that's on a personal note. I just feel it's necessary I tender my apology for not making it up from the beginning of the program. That being said, I would also like to appreciate the Enactus Tasud and every single individual who has contributed to the to this initiative and making it a realistic event on this particular day. Enactus is is an association, an organization that till date I still feel I wish if I'm permitted to use the word regret that I never joined as an undergraduate. And not that I was not introduced to Enactus. And as a matter of fact, I knew there is a kind of mentor who gave me the form for free to join the association when I was in 100 level. But somehow I found my passion elsewhere, and that is in the student unionism. I was taken away, I was hijacked by student union from Enactus, and that was how the the process of becoming an Enactus member was jettisoned for the student union activism then. But be that as it may, as we move further, I realized that it was a huge thing for me to have missed out, and I don't know if I might be heard loud and clear, please.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. I just want to be sure. So I realized that it was necessary that even though I was not a member during my final year, at least I could support in every little way I could. Because for being an actor at that point in time was doing a great job, something that I feel no other organization was doing on the campus. And I say it with all sense of responsibility that when it comes to personal development, orientational development, sensitivity, academic development, any positive development you can talk about in a student life, Enactus has been that single organization that has been outstanding on the campus of Traditional University of Education. So I identified with them, and I feel for every undergraduate who has not yet passed out of that school is a big opportunity for them, if they are listening to this program, to actually join Enactus TASUD today. It's never too late to join because I know the organization has a lot of things to offer. So that being said, I felt somehow when I read the theme for the event because it has to do with entrepreneurship, and I was wondering if I'm actually a very right person to be talking at this kind of event, knowing fully well that what do I even know about entrepreneurship? All my life has always been political issues, political activities, one thing or the other that has to do with public life. But then in my course of finding out about what entrepreneurship means and as it relates to undergraduates in the Nigerian context today, I realized that every single Nigeria is an entrepreneur, whether consciously or unconsciously. I became conscious of it that I have always been an entrepreneur, but I never knew I was. And I would appreciate the last speaker for addressing that issue when she mentioned the issue of identifying oneself, knowing yourself. And I think at that point, what I was not realizing before was that I never identified myself as an entrepreneur. And I'm putting it out today that every single person I have met as far as Nigeria is concerned, we are all entrepreneurs. You can be an engineer, you may not have a business, you can be a doctor, but the point is that for as long as you want to make a daily living, you want to fetch for yourself and probably your loved ones, you are an entrepreneur, because anything you engage in for self-sufficiency, it requires some basic skills, some basic knowledge, some effort. And everything that revolves around entrepreneurship is about application of skills, clarity of ideas, putting in effort, setting goals, reaching out for targets. That is basically what it is all about. So as undergraduates, the first thing I would like to mention is that it is quite important for us that we identify ourselves and know exactly what we want for ourselves. This kind of conversation, whenever I am opportune to have it, I always try as much as possible to use myself as an example so that we give a vivid clarity of what it means to identify oneself. I know, like every other Nigerian kid, growing up, I wanted to become a doctor. At some point, I wanted to become an engineer. And at another point, I wanted to become a journalist. At some point, I wanted to become a mass communicator, newscaster, so many things. And I'm very sure, like many other Nigerian kids, except from people who are really from the elite. Oh, when I say elite, the well-to-do, not average, not middle class. Most of us here are from the middle class family, and then at some point we were confused about what we really wanted to do. So growing up, the ideas, the ambitions were not so clear. But the last thing I held on to when I was becoming an adult was that I was so conscious and ambitious about becoming a lawyer. In identifying this, I tried at different points, wrote jump like every other kid. To each of the times I tried to put in for law, I was always down by 1 mark. That was the irony. It's either the cutoff mark was 70 and then I would have 69. It was either 73 and then I would have 72 altogether. And that was my situation. So somehow I met a man where I was learning how to cut, barbing stuff. I met a young man who saw in me what I never saw in myself. And he was like, guy, you said you want to be a lawyer. You are not a barber, but I see you as someone who is more political than legal in your activities. Why not consider studying political science? I was like, what do they do with that? I never knew. In fact, that was probably the first time I would be hearing about any course like that. This man spoke to me, he tried to convince me, and cut this story short, I became a Tasudite, studying political science. It was there I now realized that the fact that I, from a middle class family whose orientation was that I had to liberate my family financially, like every other Nigerian children from the middle class and the poor families. The idea was that the idea has always been you must be a lawyer, you must be a doctor so that you will grow up and then liberate your parents and all of that. So that was what it was all about. Because oftentimes we are existing and living a life for our parents or our guardians and not necessarily for ourselves. Because we are living to fulfill the ambition. We are living to fulfill the ambition of our parents or our sponsors, those who are sponsoring us to school. That has always, I've met quite a number of people in my experience as a student, junior leader, and when I asked them,
Okay. Welcome back, sir. We can hear you.
oh, I think it's the network. So I said
Yes.
most of the people do not really have business being in the department they find themselves, because they are living the fulfillment of their parents or their sponsors. You see, I wanted to become a doctor when I was young, but my parents were not rich enough to sponsor me. So my own kid, they must become doctors. And that is the life we are all living today. We are living to fulfill the dreams our parents never got to fulfill, without identifying ourselves that maybe we have different passion, inherent passion in us that we are yet to discover. So basically, this man helped me in discovering myself, and that was a turning point in my life. So essentially, I could have become a lawyer and probably graduated with good grades, and maybe not with good grades, but whatever the case, for my person, I would have graduated and probably I would not really be doing well. I might have eventually lost interest along the line. But I found out that I was becoming so essentially it becomes very important for us to identify ourselves such that we begin to scrutinize what am I really into, what do I want to do, who do I want to become. So that is the first thing we must do. By the time we realize this, directly or indirectly, we face the reality of how to become what exactly we want to be. And that is the second point I'll be addressing. That is the clarity of ideas. Like, you would have an idea of what you really want to become. Are you a computer science student? What do you want to do with what you are studying? You don't have to be a programmer. Having the basic knowledge of computer science, you can venture into quite a lot of things. So we must have clarity of idea. And I think the other most important thing to identify as an entrepreneur, and most importantly, as an evolving one, a young person trying to become somebody, it is important that we have role models and mentors. Quite a lot of times, we misunderstand or misinterpret these two words. People mistake role model to be mentors and mentors to be role model. So who is your role model? Your role model is that person you set as an example of who you want to be. The person you are seeing at the top of the ladder you want to climb. Someone you are seeing as a clear example of what you want to become in life. So a role model does not necessarily mean someone you get to meet or someone you talk to all of the time. You may not even meet your role model. That is the reality. But who is your mentor? Your mentor is someone who is clearly in the line of what you are doing and willing to take you through the process. Someone who is always available, who you can consult for advice, who is willing to give you the moral support. But oftentimes when we find one as role model, as mentors, we understand that finance is a very big issue in our country. But in the reality, we must also do not make the mistake of overemphasizing financial gains. Because most of the times, people who are willing to help and assist us in growing, we frustrate their efforts through financial help seeking. Because most of the times, these people really want to help, they want to put you through the process. But when they ask you, what do you need? How do you think I can help? Most times, the question we ask is, give me money, rather than how can you help me on how to make money so I can realize this goal. So these are important things, so that even after we must have identified our mentors and role model, we must be able to define our relationship and our needs from them, so that we do not become an issue for them, and we do not make it difficult for them to actually put us through what they would love to put us through. So in identifying and associating with mentors, what are the benefits? The benefit is that, one, you have someone who you are seeing as a clear example. It is no longer a movie or an imagination. You are seeing yourself, you are seeing your future in somebody that you refer to as your role model and mentor. You are seeing clearly what you want to become, who you want to become, and where you are going through that person. The person is like a mirror through whom you see your future. That is who your role model is. And your mentor is your compass. Your mentor is your compass that guides you, that leads you onto the right path. Our opportunity you see with them is that you tend to meet with other people in that line. You tend to get opportunity materials. You tend to attend events that could lead you into becoming exactly what you want to become. I realized at early stage of my life that I was going to be a teacher. At early stage of my undergraduate years, that I was going to be a teacher. And in so doing, I was lucky enough that I found a mentor in someone who was a student junior leader like myself, an activist himself, who is also a graduate of my own department, and who is also into teaching. By teaching, it could be at primary, secondary, or whatever level. I love to refer to it as teaching. I just believe it is just some grammatical connotation to say I'm a lecturer, blah, blah. All we do is teach. So in understanding that, this person was always available to put me through. Note, I'm not saying your mentors should not, or you should not explain your financial stress to your mentor. Of course, that is the essence of having them as mentor, so that you can always see somebody to talk to. But you must not overemphasize financial support above other things that could make you financially independent. So, in essence, I also identify that we must be willing to learn, to equip ourselves. Most of the times when we say we are students, what we do today, majority of students, is that we only go to school to acquire the formal education. We don't really get educated. The education that gives you liberation, the education that makes you to become a critical thinker, the education that makes you to be proficient and productive in your thoughts. So as an entrepreneur, as an emerging one, you must engage in education process, not only to read and pass. These are some of the problems we have. We only go to school, we don't get educated. So, and to be a successful entrepreneur, you must be loaded to be needed. I repeat, you must be loaded to be needed. Nobody wants an empty brain. Nobody would call you to come and do anything for them if they know you have nothing to offer. So a lot of times when we talk about, even though as much as I would, because of time, I would be very brief. I think my time is almost up. A lot of times I don't like using Dangote, Tony Elumelu, and the likes, Femi Otedo. I don't like using them as a good example of entrepreneur, because we all know they are all from a rich family, they have a background. But I like to talk from the perspective of the poor and middle class people like myself. But the reality is that these people, whether we like it or not, they have content. So today, I believe after this program, we must do that in this individual self-introspection to ask ourselves, what is that special content I have in me that would make people require my service, that would make people need me? That is the question. Some of us is not because we were extremely brilliant in class or because we are extremely radical or outspoken or whatever the case may be that made us what we have become at this level. But because we identify that people always seek where they would get something. So if you really want to become a successful entrepreneur, or even at anything in life, if you want to become a successful lawyer, you must be loaded. You want to become a successful doctor, where people will always refer patients to. You must be loaded, such that people see something in you that they need, whether for survival, for safety, or for whatever reason, so that even your friends, they value you not only because you are their friends, but because they understand that there is an inherent value in you, and that is the load you carry in you that people would always need. So lastly, to round it up, I would say that a lot of times we may get distracted, we may get confused. This country is so frustrating, we all know, easier said than done. You want to start a business, there is frustration, the government is bringing in some new laws, things that are not making it easy to survive. Our education curriculum is so designed that as an undergraduate, it is hardly convenient for you to combine working with schooling at the same time. All of these things are inherent. But finally, I want to encourage us to be consistent with our ambition, even when there are several options that will get us distracted. And I will round this up by giving an example. I have someone who has always wanted to become a teacher. So in doing so, he had several opportunities. It could have been somewhere else. And then he had a mentor who has the opportunity to always give him money and all of that. But each time this person asks him, man, young man, what do you want to be? Or what do you want to do after your NYC? Each time he's been asked, the response would always be, I want to become a teacher. I want to become a lecturer. Without knowing, of course, he has been offered several options. Can you work at so place? They have better pay. Okay, how about draw up a business proposal of what you can do? I would give you this money. You can start off. And each time he's always saying, no, this is what I want. Because opportunities would come, different opportunities that are not in tandem, that are not really consistent with your identified ambitions. And because you feel there are much more gratifications, there are much more money in those opportunities, you want to fall by the side and then fall into the ambition and vision of someone else. Because by that time, you would only realize that you are not really into what you are ambitious about. You are only into something that somebody has convinced you to join because of money or other gratifications. But this young man was convinced, and he was consistent with his ambition that no, I know there is money here, but this is what I want to do. You know, at the end of the day, as it was difficult, the man had to seek for a way to help him realize this ambition. So in rounding off, to recapture all I have said, I said we must identify ourselves and identify what we want for ourselves. That's one as an entrepreneur. Whatever business you want to do, whatever you want to engage into, you must identify it. Secondly, we must have a clarity of ideas. This is what I want to do. You must set up a plan. Plan your work and work your plan. Thirdly, I said we must create for ourselves and identify for ourselves role models and mentors to associate with and put us through that ladder towards success. And I said on the other hand that you must be loaded to be needed. That is, you must build content for yourself. You must make yourself needed. You must make yourself so a material that people would always seek to have. Thirdly, I said in the process we must ensure that as undergraduates we differentiate between schooling and getting educated for real. I know for every Enactus member, they are all getting education because they are not just in school to read and pass. I've always wanted to be a member. I wish I could still join, but they said, of course, it is too late. And lastly, I said we must be consistent with our ambition, even when there are different options and distractions that could take us away from the right path that we choose to love. So thank you very much. I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to address us. I do hope we always thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. We're grateful. See, it's not too late to join. No, you're much welcome to an actor star student. Well, I really learned a lot from what you said. Actually, you said we should learn to differentiate between schooling and getting educated for wealth. That's really a big point to me actually, because it's a thing for you to come to school in order to make money, and it's another thing to come to school in order to gain more knowledge. And you talked about as undergraduates that we should learn to identify ourselves. We should know what we really want. It's not like, okay, my parents just told me to come to TASU to come and study health education, and I don't know if that is what I want. So we should learn to go for what we want. We should clarify our ideas, and we should have role models and I want us all to please go to the comment section. So you can type my name too. Good. So you type Ibukoluwa, you must be loaded to be needed. Please, if you are hearing me there, please let's engage ourselves in the comment section. You put your name, then you put you must be loaded to be needed. You must be loaded to be needed. Thank you all so much to our speakers, Mr. Ishola Adebayo, Mr. Victor Akinfala, Mrs. Precious, Mr. Shoneye last. So I have two questions for you, Sam, Mr. Shoneye. Now the first question is, how do you balance education and entrepreneur? How do you balance education and entrepreneur? And then what advice, actually two in one question. So what advice will you give to someone who choose to neglect his or her talent and dreams just because she thinks she's not good enough for it? So okay, let me give an example. I'm a public speaker and I just feel I'm not too good enough at it. If I'm standing in front of audience, I'm stammering or I'm being shy. I'm just using that as an example. So what advice can you give to that person who thinks she's not good enough at what she does? And the second question is, how can we balance education and entrepreneur? How can we balance in such a way that they're not going to be like coming in way like disturbing each other? Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I think those are two critical questions. And I'll start by saying that whatever is worth doing at all, like the popular saying, is worth doing well. And then, human mind, if we look at a computer machine is designed to be able to perform different tasks at a time. And I don't know specifically what it is right now. I've forgotten. I was reading somewhere, and I find out that the computer, no matter the biggest computer, with the largest memory and capacity, is not even up to. I think it's not up to 10% of the human brain capacity. That is the largest computer. And I know that the genius who had used the most part of his brain, I think that's Albert Einstein. I think he used only about 11% of his brain capacity. That is the man that has engaged his brain the most of all mankind that have ever been on this planet. So what I'm trying to say is that we are enough. We can do a lot of things together. We can combine so many things together. The problem is in identifying and setting our plans. You must be able to create plans. And another thing is that you must know your limitations. That this is the areas in which I am good. If I want to read to pass, if I want to pass my examination, I must read for at least 1 hour. If I want to, for instance, I was offering the shoemaking voice when I was in TASUD, and even at that, in fact, for every TASUD, I don't think that should be an issue, because there's a way they engage in, and I think this is also to encourage them to tap into the same voice they are doing, because a lot of times some of us did not really take it as important. But I realized that only in 100 level, by engaging in voice for my first semester alone, I realized that I could make palm sandals within just 2 months that we learned it. So it's all about opening up our mind. And I know something about human mind is that whatever we are interested in doing, we really get to do them, no matter how difficult, how challenging, how multitasking that would require us to be. I think we must, firstly, someone who is trying to manage entrepreneurship with education, you must be able to plan yourself well. I understand that sometimes the academic academic planning can disrupt your own personal plans. For instance, they could say there's an emergency class, there's an impromptu class, impromptu test, and all of that. But there's always a way we can fix it in. For instance, some of us engage in student unionism. There are many times we have to travel around the country to attend meetings and all of that. And even at that, we still excel academically like our counterparts in the department. So what is most important is for us to plan ourselves. This is my capacity. This is what I can do. This is to the extent which I can carry on. If you know you can only carry on one thing, if it requires you that, okay, it is only on weekends that I can't be able to manage to do some other things, then plan yourself. Make sure you design your programs to fall around time that will be convenient for you. And don't inconvenience yourself. Some people cannot conveniently read during midnight, but you want to make people you want to copy somebody because your friend reads during midnight, you also want to. So I think it's important that we plan ourselves. You can do it. I believe we all can do it. I was working at the same time I was leading the student union. At the same time, I was attending to my academic needs. So if I could do all those 3 things, and I think the most engaging thing you can ever go into as a student is to put yourself up and say you want to become a student union president. I think that's the most engaging thing you hardly have time for. So if we can do this, I believe we can also do it. And then the last question, which is talking about how did you put it? Because I don't really want to miss the right word you use. That's
It's, he said having it's necessary. So I'm sure as asked back to know that we next issue. To so announcement about what and actually question about who actually what the there what do you stand in them. Before we dive into that, we're talking about recruitment. So the factors recruitment is there already actually. And so those this anything, maybe 900 every 200, 300, 400, you apply as a volunteer and you do gain less because they know that for 9 to 4 p.m. class, and then I'm nothing show that or so we want to need this opportunity, and we having we have things we tend to achieve the fact that the form that on 500 and you don't want so also and that is not anything right. An organization that we have in international, not just in Nigeria, like all global organizations tend to develop and international and the people. You go through the test and check what the people you can just sponsor people because that I'm sure that nobody wants who doesn't want to be a leader, who doesn't want to be a great leader. So it's something that you have the person. So and 25 countries, but institutions in all that we have in United, we have Egyptian, Europe, and many more. So, let's not be like I'm too sweet in actors. You can by yourself. So that I love like is it long classes? I just enjoy. So you can always go to our website, have the Enactus bank, you can do their website. So our website, then start.org. So you go there and see of things, a project, or eventually it's happy that wow, this we are so like this and so trust me, I don't want to keep like it's not like this enjoying one see go to the website to your phone keep going to help in and social media so that on Instagram and so that will be on that to is every most that no one. You can just go via TikTok don't worry. I'm sure that but telling you this piece of information. So also we actually don't know but that a lot of us all spending when we go from the PAD and not 1 naira. It's not one is not true. So we actually is big wow. That you be and part of the story when they were telling it. So after that on see people coming to I did can I join this? Can I join? And also business also Yes, for is just 1,500 naira. Just 1,500 naira. Also, don't just eat it yourself. He says this is just to my sister. I'm saying that I listen to your friends. So cool, okay. You know, students young actors various places because they're usually enjoying all the opportunities. We are living testimonies of in so if you have not not actually just opportunities because for auction you're not male in my action you might looking for this then that is the I also have different things I'm working on. We are working people we are working use substitute for baby incubator and if you're following you know about time so for the country part that using banana fiber to do the country part. Can you imagine no, I'm just happy you this because what I you rather than telling of this somebody to tell somebody after and doing it. So we want to do another giveaway. Are you ready that this so then we'll go back and ask them some questions. Thank you. But a number after 6, the number after 6, 0 to 9, 9 and the number 1. You know before. So if you have any winner, please take. Let me call it 5 6 8 8 0 7 0 2 7 0 9 5. The number before we don't know for one. Call on fast. So that's where I go. Please, if you're in a please fine. Now we have to upload. We have to use that in the house. 2 0 4 7 9 0 9 0 2 7 and the number after 6. 2 0 and number after 1 more 3 2 0 4 7 0 5 0 number after 6. So anything to be implicated now. The first number is after 4. The number after 4 by 8 4 3 8 4 followed by the number after 2. The number after 2 followed by 3 5 0 5 0 number after 6. The number after 6 then 4 followed by 1 2 in back the number after 8. So do any give me the glass in the code errors. I want to see it. Zero 9 4 0 0 0 8 4 7 9 7 3 9 5 2 6. That's 5 7 5 1 2 10
The number after 2 times. The number after 2, write it twice. Let me I'm again. So I'm thinking MTN is as I know. And is as 9 4 10 6 2 1 7 7 8 4 6 8 number 6. After typing your the number after 6. Do I have any? Second. Okay. One more. So, no, yes. That the first number is the number before 6. Number before 6. That's followed by 954. 954. 954. The number is 412. 412. Followed by 6. After that, your 405. Then we make this one be more complicated. We have 4 numbers. The first number is the number after the number after 0. The next one is the number before 9. Number before 9. The next one is the number before 1. Number before. And the next number is the number after 7. Number. So please drop your phone if you got me. Just signify let's have any user. Thank you. So our speakers are here. That Mr. Say so we have some questions. The first question. So please make sure you're there, like with us. Mr. with us. So there are some questions. So before he went on the transmission, we have a question related to that. Question is, what are you to someone who chose to attack that? Just them. So if you they maybe that in let me say self if they're good enough want to please can anyone hear me? So this question is what advice you give to who choose to let talent and they meant out that they have talent, they have dreams, this is not enough, or they think you get it like copy. So what advice can you give to such a person, maybe a work engagement or something? So over there.
And finally, this is bad about things. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I don't know our moderator, the speaker. Thank you because without you, having this event. Thank you for inviting us with that impact on it. And thank you for my job. Sincerely, we are in this program and you take things as to take something like seek for collaboration, inspiration, like ask for help in that side. We have a lot of even though it's and I'm very that serious idea and it's a form and table water before I hope you are keeping yourself hydrated. I really want to see your mind. Thank you for being the Enactus thing and the purpose of having the organization. But the little that is given for me to the other body, not just to keep it up, are giving opportunities for the people. So don't let opportunities the other side. Tell friends to tell or tell me, tell you want. These are not tasks you can we should have and in any that you are. So, thanks so much for joining us. And so, that's so not my idea. I don't know what to say. Okay, my own PM is Capilla about today. I want to say that our post is I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. You might want to say, but he is project manager. So make is that for joining us, for your support.
Yes.
Thank you for speaking. Thank you so much. You have something to say now.
No, thank you. We can proceed, right? I'm just glad to join up and follow up what you guys are doing. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence. You please you can to the video. In case you did not know the situation, like can go back and something. So much for me.